Piros Acre today.
Harare residents call for increased police deployment as smash and grab robbery cases increase.
Well, the World Bank says it is excited with the women economic empowerment drive that has taken center stage here in the country.
We will look at sport a little later. Zimbabwe targets a strong finish against Sri Lanka in ICC T20 World Cup match tomorrow.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa says all Zimbabweans must take leaf from the humility of the late national hero, Brigadier General retired Samuel Mpawanga, who was buried at the National Shrine in Harare today. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, was there.
As the nation lays to rest one of his finest sons, the late Brigadier General Samuel Mpawanga, the chief mourner, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, said, lest we forget, this breed of cadres brought independence and uhuru to our people.
He played his indelible part towards the liberation of our beloved great motherland, Zimbabwe. After independence, he served within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces with courage, integrity, and distinction, always putting our country above his self-interest. His leadership, commitment, and adaptability inspired many. We befittingly inter him at this revered national shrine alongside many luminaries of our nation. Our founding fathers, commanders of the liberation struggle, brave freedom fighters, and others who contributed to the development of our country in the post-independent Zimbabwe.
The president said the late Brigadier General was like other youngsters who in 1977 crossed the border into Botswana, were incarcerated there and later on found their passage to Zambia, where he underwent the military training before being sent to the then Soviet Union. Back, he was in the struggle, and it was him and others like him who led this country to find its way amongst the comet of nature.
He never exhibited a sense of entitlement or an attitude of superiority. He was a humble officer and a son of Zimbabwe. These are the character traits demanded of the current and the future crop of leaders in public service, as well as in the security sector.
He said, lest we forget, unity is the major ingredient for our development, and the younger generation must take on board the digitization and industrialization of our economy so that we develop.
At the present time, there is a new kind of revolution, one that is driven by science, by technology, and digitization and innovation. Education institutions must rise to the occasion and produce young people that can effectively drive the development, prosperity, and growth of our nation. I further challenge the sector, along with the youth and the learners at every level, to be inspired by our rich liberation war history and leverage on our heritage-based education 5.0. You should be the new heroes who propel a knowledge-driven economy and count on new technologies for the industrialization and modernization of our nation beyond Vision 2030.
The president said, we will not take instructions from anybody as we develop our own institutions, our own country, at our own pace.
His legacy is a shining example to future generations of the power of courage, conviction, and a selfless patriotism. I call upon Zimbabweans from across the political divide and the younger generation in particular to draw life lessons from these departed heroes of our nation. Let us always remain true to ourselves as Zimbabweans, our identity, and the right to chart our own destiny and future as the times demand. We are a sovereign people and should never revoke this absolute right to please illusionary entities or cyber societies. Zimbabwe is an independent country. We shall do that which is right and necessary for us, so that our people can enjoy a higher quality of life and well-being.
As mourners gathered here at the National Heroes Eka, where some of the finest sons and daughters of the soil are laid to rest, it should be realized this is the place where the nationals of this country get encouragement, get that push that as a unitary state, there is nothing impossible for us as a country. Remember, ZBC News at the National Heroes Eka.
Meanwhile, Brigadier General retired Samuel Mpavanga has been described as a patriot who dedicated his life to free Zimbabwe from the colonial bondage.
Hundreds of people gathered here at the National Heroes Eka to bid farewell to the gallant son of the soil, Brigadier General Samuel Mpavanga, who died on the 9th of this month at Rwanda Provincial Hospital after a long illness. He was 69. Colleagues took turns to chronicle his journey from crossing the country's border as a young cadre during the liberation struggle to his distinguished service in the Zimbabwe National Army and later his diplomatic role in Zambia.
He was a very dedicated man, a strategist, a loyalist, and a developer, and a family man. On the strategic side, he was always good training and operations. He's one person who was always found in the planning, policy making, and then for the defense forces.
We feel very honored that the president's mantra says, not leaving anyone, no place behind. It shows that we don't have a specific area where heroes are chosen. Heroes are chosen by their deeds, no matter from which part of the country.
To the family, a giant has fallen.
Samuel was a peace-loving member of our family. He was an organized hard worker who empowered members of his family with progressive ideas, particularly in farming. Samuel was a man of few words, but very constructive ideas. As a father, he was very thoughtful and an encouragement to his children and all young people around his community. He was a great kind father, a great kind uncle, who will be missed.
Brigadier General retired Mpavanga joined the liberation struggle in 1977 and later he joined the Zimbabwe National Army in 1980. Brigadier General retired Mpavanga, who was buried here at the National Heroes Eka this Wednesday, is survived by his wife and 3 children. Peter Chifima, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, the country continues to register wins in its diplomatic drive, with more countries backing the bid for a non-permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council.
18, Zimbabwe launched its engagement and re-engagement drive with the community of nations in a way that sought to drive the country's socio-economic and political journey. Now, last year, Zimbabwe launched its bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, and this bid has received immense support from SADC, the African Union, and member states such as Serbia, which used its National Day celebrations in the capital this Tuesday to maintain its support for Zimbabwe's bid.
I'm pleased to reaffirm Serbia's strong support for Zimbabwe's candidacy for the non-permanent seats of the United Nations Security Council for the 2027-2028 term and the elections to be held in June of this year. We are confident Zimbabwe will contribute meaningfully to global peace and security in line with the principles that have always guided our partnership, as well as with our independent foreign policy and sincere commitments to the multilateralism.
18 February marks 45 years of diplomatic relations with Russia, and in a joint statement, the two foreign ministers, Honorable Sergei Lavrov and Professor Eamon Murwira, expressed satisfaction at the level for political dialogue between the two countries, saying they are committed to deepening cooperation in various areas, including science and technology, trade and investment, as well as the humanitarian field. The two ministers emphasized the determination of Russia and Zimbabwe to expand their cooperation in the international arena in the spirit of solidarity and mutual support for the benefit of the people of the African continent and in line with the UN Charter. And continued on Zimbabwe's foreign engagements, Professor Eamon Murwira delivered a lecture at the Zimbabwe National Defense University this Wednesday relating to Zimbabwe's foreign relations and implications on Vision 2030.
Our national strategic intent is to make sure that our foreign relations yield positive results for Zimbabwe and the countries that we'll be partnering with. His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, in his State of the Nation address, directed that we have to develop the Foreign Affairs and International Trade Act, which starts as a bill. And we've already started doing that for us to achieve a structured approach to our foreign relations and international trade.
Statistics from the trade promotions body Zimtrade indicate that Zimbabwe's exports had grown from 4.2 billion United States dollars in 2021 to 9.7 billion United States dollars by 2025, resulting from bilateral trade engagements with strategic economies. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Healthcare delivery is moving closer to communities, and in Harare South, the Stone Ridge Health Center is fast becoming an important lifeline for residents, offering services ranging from maternal care to diagnostic testing. The facility is easing pressure on major referral hospitals while also improving access to timely treatment.
For residents in Stone Ridge and surrounding areas, accessing health services once meant long journeys and long waiting hours in major hospitals. But now that story is changing thanks to this modern health facility, which is offering high-quality medical services right at their doorstep. Officially commissioned by His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa in May 2022, the Stone Ridge Health Center has become a lifeline for Stone Ridge residents and surrounding areas.
Pane maservice ari pamusoro, even staff yawo iri panapa inotibata zvakanaka. Mishonga chaiyo kashoma kuishaya.
Tanga kuya kwandakaita kuno ndichitokora kwandakaita ndakaona ndakabatsirwa zvakanaka.
Panapa tinoya kuzoitwa exercise ashama notani cerebral pulse. Ndo zvatinowana panapa, but service yavo iri right. Ma improvements aripo akawanda, noti shama angasikagoni kusimuka ega. Izvo zvagona kusimuka chitobatira.
The health center also boasts of a fleet of ambulances to ferry patients from this center to Chitungwiza Hospital or Harare Hospital. I'm now joined by one of the ambulance drivers, Miss Alice Mudariki, to shed more light on the services that they offer at this health center.
Mu labor ward munogona kusununguka munhu then mwana obuda ine ma complications, so that ndo patinozokwanisa kumanya naye kuchitungwiza kana kuHarare Hospital. Isusu kana titungoripo, we simply tungotora patient totongoenda naye.
Head of Stone Ridge Health Center, Dr. Miranda Kanyere, says the clinic is providing a wide range of services aimed at improving healthcare delivery in the area.
We see acute and chronic illnesses. We also have a maternity department where we are doing bookings as well as deliveries. We have radiology department where we are doing x-rays as well as ultrasound scans. We also have a rehabilitation services, and we have a pending theatre services which are still pending.
For residents here in Stone Ridge and surrounding areas, healthcare is no longer a distant service. It is now part of everyday life. And as more facilities like this emerge across the country, Zimbabwe is inching closer to achieving its goal of universal health coverage. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the government is scaling up efforts to develop an additional 40,000 hectares for irrigation while advancing construction of a 15-megawatt hydropower plant at Tugwi Mukosi Dam in Masvingo Province.
Behind me is the vast Tugwi Mukosi Dam, now filled to capacity after a good rainfall season. Beyond this largest inland dam, other major dams across Masvingo Province are also full, for a province historically known for being affected by dry spells. These overflowing waters represent hope and opportunity for communities in Masvingo Province.
For construction ye dam rino pakaitwa incorporated the system yekujenerata magetsi kusvikira tandobuda nayo tinokwanisazve kuita mafisheries, then tine mukana wetourism. Demu rino iri rine mukana wakakura wetourism.
This Tuesday saw the Masvingo provincial leadership touring Tugwi Mukosi Dam with the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, revealing that the province is targeting to develop 40,000 hectares for irrigation under National Development Strategy 2.
Tugwi Mukosi nderimwe demu guru munyika muno richatiita kuti Masvingo ive ichisimukira panyaya dzezveufumi pachirongwa chaagriculture, nekuti richange richitidiridzira madiridziro matsva anodarika 40,000 hectares. Ataona iko zvino makambani anokwana 8 akudevelopa 30,000 hectares yatinotarisira kuti kupera kwegore rino mu-NDS2 tinenge tapedza madiridziro iwawe.
Water from Tugwi Mukosi Dam will soon begin generating electricity as construction of a 15-megawatt Tugwi Mukosi hydropower plant is currently underway, and the work is expected to be complete in the next 2 years.
We're going to be developing a 15-megawatt power plant here at Tugwi Mukosi. We're going to be making beneficial use of the water from Tugwi Mukosi to generate power before the water is released for irrigation. So currently we have our contractor on site, established on site, with all other final designs and machine procurements in process.
Communities downstream are set to also benefit through establishment of small irrigation schemes aimed at improving community livelihoods.
Chirongwa cheirrigation takachinzwawo kuti chiri kuuya munzvimbo ino, tiri kutarisirawo kuti tirime tiwanewo chikafu tisafa nenzara.
Tinofara tinoti mairrigation awa ngaave anovandudzika munzvimbo yedu, kuitira kuti kana yavandudzika chero taakuzoti kuindisa vana vedu kuzvikoro tinenge taakubatsirikana nokuti tinenge tichirima macash crops anotibatsira.
Agriculture development is among major pillars expected to leapfrog the economy towards attainment of Vision 2030. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
Government is seeking to grow its skills base in the waste management industry as the country emerges as a waste management hub in the region. The development comes as the Geopomona Waste Management Company is driving women empowerment through employment.
On a daily basis, hundreds of refuse collection trucks are deployed by Geopomona Waste Management Company into the streets and neighborhood of Harare to collect waste either through the company's door-to-door refuse collection system or the clearance of illegal dump sites. When the waste is collected, it is transported here at the Geopomona Waste Management site. But it is at this plant where all things happen, the sorting plant where hundreds of people are working to separate different types of waste, including plastic and paper. But an icing on the cake is the women who have gotten employment. Many of them are excited at the opportunity of feeding their families.
Ndiri kufara nekuti taonawo cheuwiri kugara kumba hakunakidzi kuwanawo uchitandara uchishanda kudeso zvakangonaka uchipinda uchinzi kuenda kubasa.
Tikukwanisa kuraramisawo mhuri nevabereki kumusha. Basa randiri kuita riri kundipa kudya nekuguta. Ndiri kuchengeta mhuri yangu. Ndiri kufara nezvikuitwa naPresident ende mwoyo wangu haugoni nekufara.
This project has excited many stakeholders. This Wednesday, the Ministry of Skills and Audit toured this facility in order to also assess the level of skills that are required to run successfully this type of a project.
We are looking at what are the skill sets that are here and how do we as a country ensure that we develop these skill sets so that all the cities in Zimbabwe will now have sufficient workforce to deal with waste management.
It's a clear example of how challenges can be turned into assets through innovation and technology. So in terms of the numbers of people who are working here, more than 150 people who are just dedicated to this plant, working 3 shifts.
The project has provided extensive opportunities to entrepreneurs in the waste management industry who are buying some particular type of waste here and selling it to other end users. The company has set sights on the construction of the waste energy plant, which is the key feature of this project, to generate at least 22 megawatts of electricity. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Harare residents are calling on the Zimbabwe Republic Police to deploy officers at some areas which have become hotspots for smash and grab crimes.
They say a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. However, this picture carries with it stories of pain and stories of fear inflicted on Harare residents by a surge in smash and grab robberies occurring at night here at the Highland and Hindroad intersection. As drivers slow down and attempt to navigate the humps along Highland Road, they are being targeted by robbers who are coming out of the maize fields that are planted just 2 meters away from the road.
Inini ndiri ku passenger seat. Driver akaslowa down achida kukwira mahambu. Saka munhu angobuda muchibagi achibva abvuta foni yangu. Saka time ndakataura ndabvutirwa foni mira. Uye akabva ati panapa paite sei? Apa mirwe tatokanganisa taifanira kunge takaloka madhozi.
Vanobva muzvibage kuti uzoti vari kubvepi hauzivi. Vanotongweri kana vamira pahwindo vototora zvavari kuda pamota vakutoenda. Ndosikirirawo vakomana. Ende vanenge vakapfeka zvinhu zveblack.
Mota dzine dzakaloka dzikafamba mbichana. Mumwe munhu angona kutokuvhurira dhoo rako otokutorera zvinhu zviri kumashure.
Kana kuti domhanya kuchipatara unogona kutosha kutoti kana uchida kuenda kugomo chaiko uchigarawo munogona kuenda nekuraundi ukutya kufamba but road iri padhuze iripo.
As we were conducting interviews, we managed to identify a few of the alleged paths which the robbers are jumping out of. Allegedly, the robbers jump out of here into the road, smash windows, open doors, and steal from the drivers. Pedestrians say they are now victims of a robbery-induced curfew due to the fear of walking back home at night.
Takutotya hatichatokwanisi kufamba manheru paarea yese ino yapa chatofambike bhosi vanhu vari kupondwa.
Polisi ikauya vakaonawo presence yepolisi pamwe vanogona kutambira kure kana kusudurukawo.
The Highland and Hindroad intersection is just but one of the notorious dark spots along Highland Road. Other spots include the Highland and Lighton Road intersection down to the Budiro roundabout, causing residents to fear for their lives and cry out for heavy police deployments at these non-spots. Panashe Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
Mashonaland East Province has thrown its weight behind the Constitutional Amendment Number 3 Bill of 2026, which was gazetted this Monday with a raft of measures meant to entrench democracy while strengthening constitutional institutions.
Zimbabweans from a cross-section of the society in Mashonaland East Province, including religious and traditional leaders, have described the Constitutional Amendment Bill, which will, among other things, extend the presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 to 7 years, as a necessary development that will place the country on a strong pedestal towards achieving Vision 2030 goals.
tinana izvino zvanamuchekananwa tinana kunzvi saka tikuti Vision 2030 extend yeningi ngaextendwe
zvinoita kuti vision yapresident yavakaisa ibude zvakanaka pasina kana dambudziko.
Ndiri kuti mamember of parliament mavoice edu maziso edu zvinhu zvedu tisinowatuma saka ngawaiti they have every right to elect the president because tisu tinenge tichitozviita because my voice of the voiceless.
The president is on a trajectory of improving the livelihoods of people in the country. I mean, you can take note of the improvement of infrastructure, the improvement of several aspects of our social lives in Zimbabwe, and this has necessitated the populace to say we should have the president term extended.
ZANU-PF Provincial Chairperson Comrade Daniel Garwe says the amendment seeks to promote national development, adding that there is nothing unconstitutional in amending the constitution.
Knowing fully well that His Excellency is a constitutionalist and he said, I will abide by the dictates of the constitution. It is very constitutional to amend the constitution as the situation on the ground changes. You amend the constitution to move in line with realities on the ground. The realities on the ground are not about elections. They are about building and rebuilding our economy.
The Constitutional Amendment Number 3 Bill of 2026 proposes a series of legal reforms that gives the power to Parliament to elect the President while extending the term from 5 to 7 years. Other amendments include granting the President power to appoint 10 additional senators to make them 90 and establishing the Zimbabwe Electoral Delimitation Commission to oversee ward and constituency boundaries. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Marondera.
Meanwhile, in a related development, the ZANU-PF Youth League has reiterated its support for the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
The ruling party's Youth League held its first national executive meeting of the year at the party headquarters in Harare this Wednesday. The meeting was meant to shape the wing's 2026 agenda, and among the resolutions was the unwavering support towards the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Allow me to express gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for implementing the ZANU-PF's resolution number 1 through the enactment of Constitutional Amendment number 3. This decisive step comes at a pivotal moment in our national journey, underscoring the government's commitment to consolidating our democracy and strengthening our governance system. The bill seeks to refine our governance architecture, entrench institutional clarity, and secure political stability so that our country remains firmly on course towards the full realization of Vision 2030. Stability is the foundation upon which investment is secured. Public confidence is built and development is sustained. Without stability, there can be no continuity. Without continuity, there can be no meaningful transformation. Vision 2030 demands consistency of leadership, policy, certainty, and a governance framework capable of sustaining long-term national programs. The Constitutional Amendment number 3 Bill provides the structural reinforcement required to protect and advance the developmental gains already achieved.
Zimbabweans will this Saturday mark the National Youth Day, and the Youth League believes there is a lot to celebrate in light of the Second Republic's inclusive development and youth empowerment agenda.
This year, beginning with the National Youth Day celebrations on the 21st of February in Marondera. It is an opportunity for us to really affirm our commitment to youth development.
Over the years, government has empowered youth in various ways that include availing land for agricultural activities, mining claims, equipment through mechanization programs, and funding for projects through the Empowerment Bank.
Zimbabwe has taken its innovation drive on inland transport to the United Nations, with the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Minister Honorable Felix Mona, addressing a ministerial panel focusing on innovation and automation on inland transport.
Zimbabwe took its innovation drive on inland transport to the United Nations when Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona addressed the ministerial panel on innovation and automation at the 88th session of the United Nations Inland Transport Committee being held here in Geneva, Switzerland. Minister Mona indicated that apart from remarkable progress towards the ratification of some conventions that relate to inland transport and vehicle registration, the country is accelerating its transition towards a technologically driven transport ecosystem.
Allow me to acknowledge the exceptional leadership of the ITC in the policy environment of inland transport. Your Excellencies, I wish to reiterate that Zimbabwe is committed to cooperation under the United Nations system and to the adoption of international good practices and standards on all matters under the purview of the ITC. Multilateral cooperation lies at the heart of the foreign policy of my great leader, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa's administration. Your Excellencies, Zimbabwe joins the United Nations family in shaping the attendant discourse, underpinned by the critical innovations and automations in the inland transport sector. The utility of artificial intelligence in advancing inland transport in Zimbabwe anchors innovation and automation in the sector.
United Nations Economic Commission for Europe Deputy Executive Secretary Dimitri Mariasin said that the session also looked into harmonization of legal frameworks to create seamless cross-border trade and safer transport networks.
We look forward to more and more countries acceding to the global UN conventions on land transport, including on the African continent. We are discussing at this particular ministerial meeting the important agenda of digitalization, innovation, introducing AI in transport, and of course, how to make sure that countries can cooperate effectively to make it work for the benefit of their economies and their societies.
Through its engagement at the Geneva session, Zimbabwe is positioning itself to tap into best global practices and partnerships as it pursues the modernization of its transport infrastructure. John Nandara, ZBC News, Geneva.
Well, you can find more stories on our website. Go there, it's www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also be part of the 1.3 million followers on our Facebook page. Just go there, click follow, and also get a feel of some of the stories that are online. On Twitter, that is X, formerly Twitter, you can also find us, and the handle is ZBC News Online.
We still have more news to come after the break, and here's a look at what you can expect in business. Women Economic Empowerment Drive charms World Bank. And in sports, Zimbabwe targets strong finish against Sri Lanka in ICC T20 World Cup match tomorrow. We're taking a breather. Stay with us.
The Zimbabwe Tourism Authority is calling all operators of tourist facilities who have not registered or those with expired licenses and certificates to come forward and register their facilities in compliance with the provisions of Section 36 of the Tourism Act by 28 February 2026. The government of Zimbabwe, in its ongoing efforts to improve the ease of doing business, has significantly reduced license and registration fees across all categories, aiming to foster a more competitive environment within the tourism sector. Categories of the tourist facilities that must be registered with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority include, but are not limited to, accommodation, including Airbnb accommodation, restaurants, whether in hotel or otherwise, fast food restaurants, visitor attractions, visitor activities, and many more. From the 1st of March 2026, the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, in conjunction with law enforcement agents, will be deployed to bring all unregistered facilities to book. For further information and assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us at the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority offices that are located across the country. Experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
Citizens of Zimbabwe, join us this Friday, the 20th of February 2026 at Rudaka Stadium in Marondera, Mashonaland East Province for the National Youth Day Half Marathon, organized by the ZANU-PF affiliate Marathons for Economic Development in partnership with ZANU-PF Youth League. This exciting event runs from 0500 hours to 1000 hours under the powerful theme, Stronger Together, United Against Drug and Substance Abuse towards Vision 2030. Choose from 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers, masters, veterans, and wheelchair categories. And remember, strictly no earphones or headphones allowed. But that's not all. The day also features free basic first aid training, free medical consultation, free medical treatment by Discovery Ambulance Services. For more information, call 0773 283 875 or 0772 908 741 or 0719 591 300.
Every day, millions of moments travel through the air. A call home, a payment made, a lesson learned, a life saved. But behind each moment is something steady, something quiet, unseen, unshaken, powering connection, supporting lives. This is Econet Infraco, Zimbabwe's largest private infrastructure group, comprising towers, power, and real estate. We build and operate the essential systems that hold the country together with scale, certainty, and purpose. We bring together three powerful engines of progress under one roof. Towers that carry the signal, clean energy that keeps it alive, and foundations that hold it all in one place. Because behind every connection, every transaction, every step forward, there's a quiet force. Econet Infraco, built for resilience, designed for growth.
Great Zimbabwe University is excited to announce that applications are now open for the March 2026 intake. In addition to previously advertised programs, GZU is introducing a range of new degrees designed to meet today's evolving industry demands. New undergraduate programs include agricultural economics, environmental health, applied GIS and earth observation, climate science, design and technology. Postgraduate level, new offerings include public management and governance, wildlife law and policy, data science, agronomy. Apply online at www.gzu.ac.zw or visit the admissions office at the main campus or the GZU Harare office at ZimDev House. Application fees are $10 for undergraduate and $20 for postgraduate programs. Closing date is Friday, 27 February 2026. Great Zimbabwe University, the university of choice.
Welcome back. The National Assembly question and answer session was back in full force today, with legislators pressing ministers on key socio-economic issues which are affecting the country.
Among the topical questions that raised during the session was a government policy to improve fiscal transparency in the face of renewed engagements with the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Now, Dr. Enchas Masuka, who was representing the Minister of Finance, revealed that the country's macroeconomic stabilization framework has laid a firm groundwork for debt clearance and structured re-engagement.
Zimbabwe, using its own domestic ingenuity, has been able to craft policies that have enabled us to introduce the Zimbabwe gold currency. The Zimbabwe has also been able to tame inflation, and we went to single digit at 4.1%. So, and the economy of the country has been growing ahead of many of sub-Saharan economies. In fact, Zimbabwe is ranked among the top 20 countries in terms of growth in 2025. So this stellar performance, everyone would want to associate with, and we are very pleased as government that the International Monetary Fund itself has seen that it should associate with this very good story.
Lawmakers also sought clarity on government interventions to improve mental health services provision amid growing demand for psychosocial support services nationwide.
We train our nurses in mental health nursing, and we also train our nurses who are not in mental health. They are all trained in terms of drug and substance abuse. We've actually increased our intake at Ingucheni, which is our main institution for training mental health nurses.
We are trying to procure drones to intensify our monitoring mechanisms around the borders so that we can curb the demand side where people will be bringing in drugs from other countries.
On climate-related concerns, the House said that government is intensifying mitigation measures in response to the erratic rainfall patterns being experienced countrywide.
The government and cabinet put together an interministerial committee to coordinate the activities of government and all players wishing to participate in cloud seeding. And in our series of meetings, we identified the actors, those that have platforms or aeroplanes, to be able to undertake the work primarily in the private sector and within government, defense forces and READER.
Other issues raised during the session include regularization of private schools, road rehabilitation, and licensing of private operators in the tourism sector as Parliament continues with its oversight role. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Mount Amden.
Now, the government has urged local authorities to play a leading role in climate change mitigation and adaptation through streamlining related activities in their plans.
Various stakeholders, including representatives of local authorities, converged in Bulawayo this Wednesday with climate change mitigation and adaptation on the agenda. The engagement emphasized the collaboration on issues around environmental stewardship. Hurumende kubudikidza inonzi statutory instrument 48 ya 2025 yakaona zvakakodzera kuti inge iri kubatanidza urongwa hwekuti macarbon credits trading kana kuti kutengeserana kweyatinoti carbon credit kungange kuchiitwa sei. Saka izvi ndo zvaita kuti tiuye pano tichitsanangurirwa kuti semaguta kana kuti local authorities tingange tichibata sei nevatinoti mainvestor.
Chirongwa chitsva chiri kuiswa nehurumende chataonawo isisi kuti chakanaka tinochifarira ndechekutenga kuti maprojects emacarbon credits. Macarbon credits kureva kuti mainvestors vanouya toshanda navo toita mari, kana mari yaitwa sitovharara ino mari yainowanawo kuti ikwanise kudevelopa zvana public service delivery.
Bulawayo nxasi mkhangele lidolobho eseli-affecte kakhulu yi-climate change. Sinanzelela kakhulu ama-challenges and effects of climate change, especially when it comes to the provision of water services. Sifeyise kakhulu ama-challenges e-El Nino and El Nina. So njengedolobho lakobulawayo, our efforts when it comes to issues of mainstreaming climate change are not starting now, or neither are they starting after the Paris Agreement. they start from ngesikhathi sisenza ama-master plans ethu.
We gather here today, ladies and gentlemen, to explore and discuss one of the most critical avenues in our fight against climate change, the carbon markets. Carbon trading presents us with innovative solutions for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, while fostering both economic and sustainable development.
Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Evelyn Ndlovu, tasked local authorities to streamline environmental issues in all their plans.
The recurring and worsening impacts of climate change have made it imperative that all ministries, departments and agencies mainstream climate change in their planning, budgetary processes and activity implementation.
Government says continuous engagements are expected to strengthen coordination among stakeholders and drive sustainable urban environmental programs across the country.
The main news takes a breather. Do join us when we return.
Zimbabwe is on the move, building today for a stronger and more resilient tomorrow. The Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development will commission the Skyline Asphalt Plant in Harare, a strategic investment to strengthen national road construction and maintenance capacity. This is the first of several plans, with the next in Bulawayo, rolling out across all 10 provinces. The facility will produce asphalt concrete for pothole patching and road surfacing, enabling swift, efficient response to national roadworks. In-house production ensures quality and timeliness. Through infrastructure modernization, government is creating jobs, empowering communities, and advancing sustainable development aligned with Vision 2030. The Skyline Asphalt Plant marks a significant step towards a prosperous, connected, and industrialized Zimbabwe. In coming weeks, Ministry and Harare City Council teams will be in Waterfalls, Glenview, Budiriro, Highfield, and other suburbs, upgrading connectivity and improving traffic flow across the city. Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, building Zimbabwe kilometer by kilometer.
The Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, in collaboration with the Zimbabwe Youth Council, invites all youths to the 2026 National Youth Day commemorations on the 21st of February. This year's celebrations will take place at Igava Training Center in Marondera, Mashonaland East Province, under the theme Youth Agenda for Transformation. His Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, will grace the celebrations as the guest of honor. The event will feature a number of activities, including exhibitions, job fair, youth service in Zimbabwe graduates drill displays, music and dance performances, and much more. All youths are invited to join us and engage in this monumental event. Don't miss out. Be there and be inspired. Hashtag Empower the Youth, Secure the Future.
Every day, millions of moments travel through the air. A call home, a payment made, a lesson learned, a life saved. But behind each moment is something steady, something quiet, unseen, unshaken, powering connection, supporting lives. This is Econet Infraco, Zimbabwe's largest private infrastructure group, comprising towers, power, and real estate. We build and operate the essential systems that hold the country together with scale, certainty, and purpose. We bring together three powerful engines of progress under one roof. Towers that carry the signal, clean energy that keeps it alive, and foundations that hold it all in one place. Because behind every connection, every transaction, every step forward, there's a quiet force. Econet Infraco, built for resilience, designed for growth.
We're kicking your year off in all her glory. With more, because we got you. You get it. We got kicks. We got scores. We got action. We got roars.
It's my specialty.
We got drama. We got fun. We got more for everyone. With an upgrade on us, just for you. More channels, more shows, more reasons to stay.
We got you.
DSTV, we got you all the way.
Now, the intersection of climate change and social protection has taken center stage, with stakeholders calling for stronger public understanding of rights-based safety nets as climate shocks intensify. This emerging at co-creation and capacity building engagement that was convened by the Zimbabwe Social Protection Platform in Harare today.
The United Nations Universal Declaration on Human Rights affirms social protection as a fundamental right. Zimbabwe is strengthening policies to cushion vulnerable communities with programs such as BEAM and cash transfers, among others. However, worsening droughts, floods and extreme weather events linked to climate change are stretching these systems.
Social protection are mechanisms that are developed by the state, supported by development partners and the private sector and other stakeholders in the country, to cushion citizens against shocks and vulnerabilities that they may experience. Social protection is a mechanism that addresses the needs of those people in vulnerable situations. Now, Zimbabwe has gone a long way in terms of implementing social protection programs.
Media practitioners and civil society actors came together to sharpen reporting skills on the link between climate change and social protection.
The workshop today was inviting media from various media houses to come and report and learn about the intersection between climate change and social protection. So when climate change hits, social protection should be the cushion to cushion people from the impact of climate change.
The key takeaways from this workshop is that climate change and social protection should not be separated.
The co-creation model allowed participants to share experiences and map strategies to better report on climate change issues and its nexus with social protection. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
And I'll look at business news. The World Bank has come out in support of Zimbabwe's women economic empowerment policies driven by government's gender reforms on socio-economic development. The D.
Findings of a research study carried out by the World Bank on women economic empowerment policies in Zimbabwe reflect huge milestones by the government in coming up with policies towards empowering the girl child and women. It is within such a perspective that the World Bank, which presented the findings this Tuesday, is therefore recommending the private sector as well as development partners to work with the government in terms of ensuring that the set goals are achieved. It is within such a context that the World Bank has also pledged support to the government in terms of women economic empowerment policies across the country.
The World Bank is very committed to supporting and advancing gender equality. The three things that were discussed today was women's safety, addressing gender-based violence, and it requires a whole of a society approach because it starts with homes and then the community and the nation. We're also looking at issues of girls dreaming. What we heard was a lot of girls in the country want to do bigger things, go to college, get into STEM and actually get into production and manufacturing jobs.
The government, while accepting the findings of the report, has revealed its commitment to work with development partners, including the World Bank, in shaping the landscape of the women economic empowerment policies in Zimbabwe.
My ministry
work actually starts at national level, going down all the way to the ward level. So we have got 10 provincial development officers who are looking at about 67 district development officers, going down to 1,935 wards, because it's important not to leave anyone behind. And we don't want any woman to suffer in silence.
Some of the findings within this study include access to health and education for women, investments in socio-economic development projects, ending gender-based violence, promoting inclusivity, raising more finance for different projects, as well as including them in skills programs that will further create self-employment, among many other indicators. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
All right, Stanley James there with our look at your business news. Now, Zimbabwean film writer, executive producer and actor Kudakwashe Maradzika is making waves on the global stage, turning underdog stories into internationally recognized productions.
Across screen, stage, voice and digital media, a career that reflects.
And that there is our look at the arts. Well, when we come back, we'll be taking a look at your sport. Big story, of course, being Zimbabwe's exploits at the ongoing T20 World Cup. Join us for that and more when we come back.
When shopping, Zinks counts every cent, so he pays for groceries, not bags, because bags are not groceries. If smart choices mean a great deal to you, get a Dunked Crunch Burger, 1-piece original recipe chicken, small chips, and a 330ml drink for only $8.50. Now, that's how you box clever.
At CBZ Bank, we understand the unique challenges and needs of those in the mining sector. So we offer a comprehensive suite of financial services tailored specifically for this sector. Our lease finance scheme lets you easily acquire heavy mining equipment without breaking the bank. And with value chain financing, we help streamline your operations by providing funds for input suppliers and buyers within your supply chain. Need extra cash flow? Our overdraft facilities are here to help bridge any gaps in capital while you wait on payments from clients or investors. But that's not all. We also provide insurance services to protect against unexpected events that could disrupt your business, risk advisory and financial advisory services to ensure wise investments and strategic planning. CBZ Bank is committed to helping you succeed in the dynamic mining world. Trust us to be your partner every step of the way. CBZ Bank, partners for success.
Jirico Fire Net 1. Every $10 recharge brings you closer to amazing prizes including smart TVs, cell phones, and the grand prize solar kit. See Net1 online platforms for details.
Feel the vibe. Enjoy. See Enjoy.
Terms and conditions apply. Net1, the world in one. We're kicking your year off in all her glory. With more, because we got you. You get it? You know that. We got kicks. We got scores. We got action. We got roars.
It's my specialty.
We got drama. We got fun. We got more for everyone. With an upgrade on us, just for you. More channels, more shows, more reasons to stay.
We got you.
DSTV, we got you all the way.
Good
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Sports News this evening. My name is Lawrence Trusira. Yes, indeed, the big story is the exploits of the Chevrons at the T20 World Cup, and that's where we start, where Zimbabwe senior national cricket team is focused at the task ahead as they prepare to take on Sri Lanka, that is tomorrow, before shifting their focus to the Super 8 stage.
The Chevrons booked their place among the last 8 with a game to spare, but the team insists there will be no easing off as they target another strong performance to cap a productive group campaign. Captain Skanda Raza highlighted the importance of discipline, intensity and consistency, with the Sri Lanka encounter viewed as another opportunity to taste character.
The Super 8 goals were set by you guys as a minimum requirement, the fans, the media and the public. When Zimbabwe set out, we didn't set a goal to qualify, just to qualify. We've got other goals to achieve, and we remain focused for that. Yes, Super 8 is certainly a tick in the box, but it's certainly not the whole box we set out for.
The Chevrons believe sustained performances against top opposition are key towards restoring belief and confidence, both within the squad and among supporters back home. Thursday's clash against Sri Lanka is expected to provide another stern examination as Zimbabwe continue their push to make a lasting statement on the global stage.
A simple message there coming through from Raza. Super 8 is not enough. Respect is everything. And we move on to football news now, where Zimbabwe will kick off their 2026 COSAFA Women's Championship campaign with a date against Eswatini in Polokwane tomorrow.
The Mighty Warriors are in buoyant mood after conducting their first training session in Polokwane this Wednesday. The team has been in camp for several weeks and traveled to South Africa on Monday as they gear up for the regional showpiece. Zimbabwe battle Eswatini at midday, looking for a positive start before they face defending champions Zambia in their second match. The Mighty Warriors are looking for their first COSAFA Women's Championship trophy since 2011.
With the pathway there for the Mighty Warriors clear, we can also let you know that the Warriors will be back in action during the upcoming FIFA international break, using Botswana Four Nations tournament as a platform to regroup and recalibrate following the Africa Cup of Nations campaign that produced both encouraging highs and low moments. The Zimbabwe Football Association has confirmed that Zimbabwe will take part in the regional tournament set for the 23rd to the 31st of March at the Obed Itani Chilume Stadium in Francis Town. The competition will feature national teams from Botswana, Zimbabwe and Malawi. Coming straight from the Africa Cup of Nations journey, which tested the squad's depth, mentality and consistency, the Warriors are expected to use the tournament to build on the positive moments and address some shortcomings that were highlighted at the Africa Cup of Nations. And we eagerly anticipate the announcement of the squads to be doing duty at that Four Nations tournament. And staying on with football news, we can also let you know that Blue Giants Highlanders have received a shot in the arm ahead of the start of the 2026 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League after benefactor Wigno Chivayo released 500,000 United States dollars to the club, completing the $1 million sponsorship package to the club.
Chivayo has now committed a total of $1 million United States dollars to Highlanders, with half of that amount having been disbursed at the end of last season to stabilize the club and cushion it ahead of the new campaign. This season, the benefactor has already purchased a new bus for the first team, easing logistical challenges and improving player welfare. Chivayo also committed to meeting the salary obligations of the club's new head coach, Benjani Mwaruwari, underlining his intention to provide a full backing to the technical department. The financial package is expected to strengthen recruitment, improve preparation, and enhance competitiveness as Highlanders target a return to the summit of domestic football.
Sports development really is a critical component of socio-economic development and national cohesion. So with respect to Highlanders, I must acknowledge the club has immense capacity, and it remains one of the biggest football clubs in Zimbabwe, enjoying a legion of supporters across the country. So my aspiration is that within the short to medium term and with appropriate support, Highlanders FC should return to its winning ways and reclaim its status as a PSL giant.
In recognition of Boso's recent 1-0 victory over arch-rivals Dynamos, Chivayo unveiled luxury vehicles for the club's technical team, executive leadership, and club legend Madinda Ndlovu.
Heavy sounds are there coming through from, that is Boso, but from the other side of town, the echoes are not that good. We'll give you that story that is tomorrow, but that puts a wrap on sports news this evening. It's now time for the weather update.
Hello, welcome. It's time for you with the news. Mostly cloudy and mild conditions prevailed in the morning across much parts of the country, except for the extreme southern districts, which experienced mostly clear skies. However, as you got into the afternoon, warm conditions prevailed under mostly cloudy conditions in all areas, with isolated thunder showers over the central parts of the country. Now we're expecting thunderstorms activity over the northern half of the country as we get into Thursday, Friday as well as Saturday. While to the south, we're expecting more of partly cloud conditions with a chance of isolated showers in places. Localized heavy pours cannot be ruled out over the northern half of the country. Tonight, we're expecting cloudy conditions across much parts of the country, with mild conditions prevailing, the highest over the southern parts as well as the northwestern parts of the country. Tomorrow it will be generally warm across the country, with highest maximum temperatures over Chiredzi area as well as Matabele in south and to the northwestern parts, which includes Kariba and Victoria Falls. Now, Blawa is forecast to be mild in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Chances of showers in places. Matopos as well, rainfall activity as we get into Friday. Gwanda, mild at first, becoming warm by the afternoon. Chances of isolated showers are probable. And for Gweru, we're expecting mild conditions in the morning with what afternoon conditions. Same applies for Mashingo. Heavy rain on Friday into the weekend. Mtari as well, we're expecting scattered thunder showers throughout the forecast period. Nyanga, we're expecting mild conditions in the morning, coming home by the afternoon, with chances of scattered thunder showers. Same applies for Marondera for Friday and Saturday. Harare as well, heavy rainfall expected from Thursday afternoon through Saturday, though mild at first, coming home by the afternoon. Kadoma, partly cloud conditions with a chance of isolated showers in places. Chinoi, mild at first with warm afternoons throughout the forecast period, with chances of scattered thunder showers in places. Victoria Falls, rainfall activity through Sunday, though mild at first, becoming warm by the afternoon. Lupani, we're expecting thunderstorm activity as well. Bindura should be mild at first with warm afternoons. Rainfall is expected as well through Saturday. Kariba to the northwestern parts of the country, isolated showers are expected as well, though mild at first with warm afternoons. That's all weather news today. Good night.
And that is the way of the weather report and forecast, bringing us to the end of tonight's main news. Thanks a lot for joining us from the entire team behind the scenes. Lawrence on sport, and of course my co-pilot Vic.
We're done for tonight. Good night.